In today's video, I want to highlight several newly announced PlayStation 4 games, and a lot of these are very exciting. A new Yakuza game is in development for the PlayStation 4. That one is going to feature a brand new main character. The first-person shooter in Bright Memory is coming to the PlayStation 4. That game's been in early access on PC for a little bit, and it's actually really good at this current point, so excited to see that make the PS4 transition. Double Fine has announced a post-apocalyptic roguelike. RAD is coming to the PlayStation 4 later this year. We've also got the announcement of the Samurai Jack-inspired action game Bloodroots, and that's coming to the PS4 this summer. That game looks pretty cool. Konami is celebrating its 50th anniversary with retro collections coming to the PS4, and that includes an Arcade Classics Anniversary Collection, a Castlevania Anniversary Collection, and a Contra Anniversary Collection. And PlayStation 4 has been referenced in EA Access source code, adding fuel to the fire of the rumor of EA Access coming to the PS4 at some point. I think that will be happening, and I do want to highlight that at the end of this video. First up, let's go over all of these new game announcements. Possibly the most exciting, at least for me, is that a new Yakuza game is in development on the PS4, and it stars a fresh new main character. Ichiban Kasuga will be the main character of the next Yakuza game, and Sega has confirmed that there is a new Yakuza game in the works for the PS4. It doesn't have an official title right now, but the project will star the new character Ichiban Kasuga. Supposedly, the story of Kazuma Kiryu comes to an end with Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, and I think, yeah, we've seen enough of Kiryu at this point, and to reset the franchise, a new main character is kind of essential at this point. Now, for a lot of you guys, Kasuga might be a little bit recognizable. Well, he appeared in Yakuza Online, a mobile title available only in Japan, and you guys might have seen him through a lot of promotional images. He does have a very distinct look to him. Specifically, it's been announced that Kasuga will have a female partner, and Sega's actually holding auditions for her in Japan, and is currently asking for actresses aged 20 and up. The chosen actress will obviously star alongside Kasuga in the game, and they'll get paid 1 million yen in prize money. So that's pretty interesting. I imagine that this game won't be out for quite a while based on the fact that it looks to be at its infancy, considering that it is touted to be a PS4 game. That's pretty surprising. This is a game that I imagine could easily be transitioned into a PlayStation 5 title, but nonetheless, a new Yakuza game is in development. And of course, right now, there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the release of Judgment on the PlayStation 4 over here in the West. A lot of stuff is happening with that, and we'll keep you guys posted. That was the Yakuza team's other game. That game turned out to be really, really great. It's supposed to be released over here in the West in June. Let's hope that that stays intact. Next up, another new PlayStation 4 game announcement is Bright Memory Infinite. FYQD Studio is a Chinese studio that first launched Bright Memory Episode 1 in Steam Early Access, and it was received very, very well on Steam. I believe right now it's at a very positive or overwhelmingly positive reception, and now, instead of making a subsequent episode like you would think, considering it was titled Bright Memory Episode 1, the team is hard at work on a reboot titled Bright Memory Infinite. The reboot will serve as the definitive version of the game and will launch on the PlayStation 4. At the time of writing, we don't have a release date. However, it's doubtful that we're going to see this anytime soon. The game is still at its infancy on Early Access, and of course, we don't get Early Access titles on the PS4. There was a reveal trailer, and I played a little bit of Bright Memory Episode 1, and yes, it's a very, very stylish game, has some issues here and there, has some translation issues, but would love to see that game come at a suitable state on the PlayStation 4. I think it's a game that would resonate really hard with the PlayStation 4 audience, so excited to see Bright Memory Infinite come to the PS4 at some point. Again, no release date, but we will keep you guys posted on that. Next up, Double Fine has also announced a brand new game in RAD. RAD is actually being published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, and it says, prepare yourself for a post-apocalyptic adventure, double the disaster, double the fun, and it is coming soon from Double Fine Productions. It's an apocalyptic roguelike action game set in a world that's been devastated by Armageddon twice, now roamed by mutants and bereft of humanity. You take control of a teenager who is tasked with entering the follow, a constantly changing nuclear wasteland in order to discover how to bring life back to the world. You play as a relatively mutated character, and it looks like the more you play, the more mutated you'll become. That's just my speculation, but a Double Fine game is always going to be rather interesting. Again, we don't have an exact release date for RAD, but it does look like it'll be out before 2019's end. And lastly, we also got the announcement of the Samurai Jack-inspired action game Bloodroots. That's coming to the PS4 this summer. Betrayed and left for dead, Mr. Wolf is hell-bent on finding his killer and enacting revenge, alone and vastly outnumbered. Thankfully for Mr. Wolf, the world is your weapon in Bloodroots, a relentless action game that unfolds across the sprawling Weird West. You'll choreograph spectacular ultra-violent combos by making use of everything around you, from hatches to ladders to carrots. It's improvise or die as Mr. Wolf fights his way to the center of the mystery. Why was he betrayed? Key features of the game tout a world overflowing with makeshift weapons that not only change the way you fight, but how you get around. Improvise the most deadly combos and compete for fame on worldwide leaderboards. Fight your way through a variety of handcrafted levels from forests to mountaintops. Experience a twisted western revenge tale with a deranged cast of characters. Again, Bloodroots is due out sometime this summer. This looks to be a pretty interesting game. Really dig the art style in it as well. Again, harkens back to Samurai Jack, really. So this could could be one of the surprise hits of 2019. I'll keep you guys posted as we hear more about Bloodroots. Next up, I know everybody's not fond of Konami, but they have some of the most historic games of all time, and now they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, and with that, they're bringing retro collections to the PlayStation 4, specifically an Anniversary Arcade Collection, the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, and the Contra Anniversary Collection. The Arcade Anniversary Collection will be $19.99, and it'll be out April 18th. That'll include Haunted Castle, Life Force, Nemesis, Scramble, Thundercross, Twin Bee, Typhon, and Vulcan Venture. Konami has also announced Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which is due out sometime in the early summer. This will include the original Castlevania, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, and Super Castlevania. And on top of that, it'll actually include 4 other titles that have yet to be announced. And lastly, we have the Contra Anniversary Collection. It's also pegged for a release sometime early this summer, and some of the included games have been announced for Contra, Super C, and Contra 3 The Alien Wars. More games will be added to the Contra Anniversary Collection as well. I imagine all of those will be priced at $19.99. We only got details about the Arcade Classics Anniversary Collection. I think any more for those collections would be a little bit expensive considering they are older titles. If you have a decent PC, you could probably emulate all of those games, so $20 for them I think would be pretty serviceable. Also, it will be interesting to see how the trophies are split up. Will there be a trophy list for each game, or will there be one entire list for all the games? Just the little things that I'm a little bit more curious about. But all of those collections will be out before 2019's end. Again, the Arcade Classics collection will be out April 18th, and then the other two should be out before the end of the summer. And lastly, I do want to let you guys know that PS4 has been referenced in EA Access source code, adding fuel to the fire about the rumor that EA Access will be coming to the PlayStation 4. Recently, it was spotted on the Brazilian PlayStation Store, and now references to the PlayStation 4 have been discovered on the subscription's website. Now, that's not absolutely conclusive, concrete proof that EA Access is coming to the PlayStation 4. However, EA themselves said that they want to bring this subscription service to one other platform, and right now, what other platform could that be? I mean, you could do the Nintendo Switch, but the Nintendo Switch isn't this haven for EA games. At least on the PlayStation 4, you do have a lot of these EA experiences, and you as a consumer would benefit from EA Access by being able to play games like Anthem and trying out the EA Vault titles as well as all of the early access trials. That would be a nice addition as a PlayStation 4 owner. Unfortunately, only PC has the EA Access Premier subscription service. I think that subscription service would resonate really well over here on the consoles. That's $15 a month or $100 a year, and that gives you access to everything that the basic access service does, but it also gives you access to every newly released EA title. So Battlefield 5, Anthem, sports titles like Madden. I imagine all upcoming games would be added as well, like the new Star Wars games, and again, that's all on top of the existing benefits with EA Access. And if you look at it from the standpoint of paying $100 a year, well, if you're buying 2 EA games a year, you get those games for the year, and then you get all of the other benefits, all of the other games. It's quite a nice service, but at the very least, would love to see EA Access, the basic service, come over to the PS4. For the people that want to sign up for it, it'd be great. Unfortunately, a big incentive with it on the Xbox One is that it also includes a lot of Xbox 360 games. There are games like Skate, Dead Space, all of those titles are in EA Access. Unfortunately, if you own a PS4, you really can't take advantage of that because of the lack of backwards compatibility, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but still having the service would be great, and it looks like all signs are pointing to it coming over to the PS4 at some point. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, we've got 4 sick new PS4 games in development. A new Yakuza game, the first-person shooter in Bright Memory, will be rebooted as Bright Memory Infinite, and it'll be coming to the PlayStation 4. Double Fine has announced a post-apocalyptic roguelike in RAD. We've got a Samurai Jack-inspired game in Bloodroots. Konami is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a bunch of collections. It looks like EA Access will be making its way to the PS4 at some point. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Keep from failing. Where did you go this time? Can we keep from
Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.